For this example, we're going to be returning to looking at 3 freshmen at Loyola and asking again about who returns versus who does not. We're going to change the question up a little bit, though. What we're going to ask instead is, okay, given a group of 3 students, what are the chances exactly one of them returns? Now, while this sounds super straightforward, it's actually not quite as straightforward as it sounds because there's a couple different ways it can happen. For instance, maybe the first one returns, but the second and the third does not. Or maybe the second returns, the other 2 do not. Or maybe the third returns and the other 2 do not. Now that is, if I want one of them to return, I could either have the first scenario, or the second scenario, or the third scenario. And because these are ors, that is the first or the second or the third, what I need to do is I need to find each of these 3 probabilities, and then I will add them up. Now remember, OR formula also subtracts things off. In this case, I don't need to worry about subtracting because there's no overlap. That is, if the first is only to return, that means it obviously can't be the second returning. And if the second returns, it obviously can't be the third returning. So there's no overlap. So all I have to do here is find the first scenario, the second scenario, the third scenario, and then add them up. To do that, we'll start by finding the first scenario. That is, what if it's the first student who actually returns? To do that, I'll go ahead and trace first returns, second does not, third does not. To find the second scenario, I'll look at, okay, the first does not return, the second returns, the third does not. And for the third scenario, I'll say the first does not, second does not, third does. Now I can find each of these probabilities by multiplying along the branches. And after I do that, the next thing I'll do is I'll add each of these 3 probabilities up. What this gives me is, out of a group of 3 students, what are the chances that one of them returns? And notice I have 3 different ways that can happen, so I'm adding up those 3 scenarios to get my overall probability.